Welcome, dear listeners. Tonight's story will take you on a whirlwind night, a hidden past, and a love that triumphs over betrayal. Imagine a rebellious young woman and a powerful but wounded CEO, tied together by a fake date neither expected. Feel your heart race as secrets unravel under a moonlit sky. In this tale of trust and destiny, emotions run deep, and every twist pulls them closer. Are you ready to begin? Slip away from reality and open your heart as I narrate their journey. Stay tuned for romance, suspense, and heartfelt sacrifice that will leave you breathless. Night had fallen over the city, and the streets glowed with the soft haze of street lamps and neon. Rain dripped from warm pavements as Maya stood outside an old brick event hall, biting her lip. She was 22, rebellious, and perfectly capable of diving headfirst into trouble. But tonight, anxiety fluttered in her chest like a trapped bird. I can't do this alone, she thought. Inside, music boomed and glasses clinked. Maya's cousin was getting married, and Maya had stubbornly insisted she'd come alone. Her mother, however, refused to let her face the wedding festivities by herself. When last-minute texts all failed, Maya did something unexpected. She turned to a stranger at a nearby bar and asked him to be her date. He stood by the mahogany bar, his gaze fixed on a half-empty drink. His storm-gray eyes were lined with weariness that didn't belong in a place of celebration. Travis was the young CEO of Carling Industries, but Maya didn't know him. He was only a handsome stranger with a haunted look. His tall frame was relaxed, yet radiated quiet authority. When Maya approached, he didn't smile. You want something? He asked, voice low. Maya's heart pounded. Get it together, she chastised herself. A fake date for the wedding? She blurted, adopting a carefree laugh. My cousins, kicking up a storm about me coming alone. Help a rebel out, will you? Travis cocked an eyebrow. The idea startled him in equal measure. A fake date, he thought. For a moment, he looked amused by her audacity. Bold and fearless, she dared to tug at a heart already guarded by scars. He studied her defiant posture, the thin leather jacket, the jeans, the sparkle of green in her eyes. Something about her made him pause. She shrugged, a playful smirk on her lips. Why not? You look like you could use some fun. And I look like I'll get kidnapped by my aunt if I walk in alone. Travis raised his drink as if considering. Maya held her breath. He's deciding my fate with a sip of whiskey. This is insane. Finally, he set the glass down. All right, he said quietly. One evening. Then I vanish back into the night. They reached a silent agreement and walked into the warm glow of the wedding hall together. Soft jazz greeted them as they stepped past the threshold, an orchestra of violin and piano serenading the night. The hall was a swirl of colors, burgundy, dresses, emerald ties, gold confetti sparkling in the air. Maya felt a thrill. This is crazy, but exciting. Travis guided her to the dance floor with a subtle nod. For the first slow tune, he put one hand around her waist and the other held her hand. The moment their eyes met, Maya noticed something unexpected. Kindness. Behind those guarded eyes. He smiled gently, trying to make the best of this unexpected alliance. They danced as if they had done it 1,000 times. though neither spoke. After a while, Maya broke the silence. So, what brings you to the world's fanciest wedding party? Travis's jaw tensed. A shadow passed over his face. Maybe a flicker of pain. A business partnership, he replied shortly. He was not one to share personal details, but in that gentle voice, a hint of loneliness trembled. Maya saw it clearly. Lonely night, handsome stranger. What am I doing? Maya touched the small locket around her neck, a gift from her mother that held a childhood photo of her and her late father. Inside, the music played on. Between courses and toasts, Travis and Maya talked about dreams, about lost loves, about family secrets they'd never share aloud. Candles flickered on each table, scenting the air with warm vanilla and rose, setting Maya's skin aglow. She confessed how much she hated pretending to be something she wasn't. He listened, his expression softening. When the dessert champagne was poured, Maya found herself smiling more freely. For a moment, the barriers melted. She felt alive and seen, and something inside her began to thaw. Travis told a quiet story of childhood trauma, how his father abandoned him and their mother when he was a kid, leaving scars he buried deep under business suits. Every word was a confession, dripping with pain. Maya's heart ached. She recognized sorrow because she too had known loss. Growing up fatherless taught her independence, even as a little girl. I'm not the only broken one, Maya thought, surprised by her empathy for this stranger. When she gently reached for his hand in comfort, his eyes momentarily glistened with gratitude. As midnight approached, the wedding crowd thinned. Travis offered to drive Maya home. In his sleek black car, the city lights blurred past them like silver rain. Maya rested her hands on the windowsill, listening to the quiet rhythm of the engine. Thank you for tonight, she said softly. Her voice trembled with sincerity. She hadn't meant to show. Travis glanced at her in the rearview mirror. He was undeniably handsome and powerful, Maya thought, feeling a flush on her cheeks. He cleared his throat. If tonight was fun, it was worth it, he replied gently. But remember our promise. No second night. They arrived at Maya's quaint apartment building. Rain had turned to a gentle mist that painted the glass with dancing circles of light. Under that city glow, Travis kissed her forehead in a surprisingly tender gesture. Good night, Maya, he whispered. It was more than polite. It was careful and warm. Good night, Maya replied, stunned by the softness in her throat. She watched him walk away and thought, who is this man? His name's still a mystery. Her heart fluttered crazily, yet the moment was fleeting. She unlocked her door and stepped inside, heart full of questions and a head swimming with possibility. Little did she know how drastically her world was about to shift. Maya froze in the hallway. Time seemed to still as John Carling, Travis from last night, stood before her, clipboard in hand. Sunlight filtered through the glass door, catching the company logo. Carling Industries. My future boss, she realized, with a sinking thrill. Her mind flashed back to their conversation, to the gentle pressure of his hand against hers. He offered a small, professional nod. Miss Parker, ready for orientation? His voice held no hint of their midnight dance. Maya forced herself to smile. This was her job, her future. She would not let last night ruin it. The first days at the office passed in a blur of paperwork, introductions, and awkward glances. Every time John Carling walked past her cubicle, Maya's heart leapt. He was polite, but distant, keeping everything strictly business. Maya wondered if he remembered their impromptu date. Did he see through my smile? But John said nothing. Perhaps he thought she did not know him at all. That weekend, Maya returned to her other world of volunteer work. Under a bruised sunset, she quietly slipped through the doors of the Rosewood Orphanage, a place she'd once called home. The hallways smelled of cinnamon and children's laughter. As a teenager, Maya had grown up here after losing her father, and now she spent free time caring for younger kids. Her hands trembled slightly at the threshold. So much had changed, yet this felt like sanctuary. Inside, a group of children in yellow aprons sat painting a mural on the wall. The sun painted their faces gold. Maya smiled at them and kneaded dough for pizza in the kitchen nearby. At that moment, a voice echoed through the courtyard beyond the open window, a warm baritone calling, "Hello." She spun around. Standing outside in the late afternoon light was John Carling, gazing in at her with surprise. Dressed casually and smiling softly, he held a large box of donation supplies, books, blankets, toys. Maya's eyes widened. You're Carling," she said slowly. Of course he'd come here. He turned slightly, uncertain. She stepped outside. "I used to live here," Maya whispered, her voice trembling. John stared at her, eyes wide. His breath hitched. He placed the box beside her. I I support this place," he finally managed, voice gentle but stunned. "I didn't expect to meet anyone from here." Inside, the orphanage director waved them in. It was open volunteering day for local companies, but Maya had kept it a secret. Seeing John among the benefactors felt surreal. In the volunteer hall, Maya helped a group of children read a storybook, her voice soft and caring. John watched from a corner, noticing how naturally she calmed the kids. Later, he found her finishing, painting details on the mural, a bright sunflower and stars. "When did you learn to paint like that?" he asked quietly. Maya shrugged, but smiled, wiping a smudge off her cheek. "A little creativity is good for these kids. They deserve color after all the gray days." John studied her closely. Her kindness radiated from every gesture. How could the free-spirited rebel from last night also be this selfless soul? Just then, a cry echoed down the hallway. A little girl had tripped and scraped her knee. John sprang into action, rushing to comfort the crying child, while Maya ran to fetch a first aid kit. Together, they bandaged the wound and wiped tears. The little girl clung to John, and he held her gently, his eyes soft with reassurance. No one at work sees this side of him, Maya thought, as they walked out into the evening air, a gentle breeze teasing the fallen confetti around the orphanage yard. John turned to Maya. "You've done so much here," he said quietly. "I didn't know. You have such a big heart, Maya." Maya flushed, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "I never talk about it," she admitted. "This place helped me when I had nowhere else. I just wanted to give back in any small way I could." John nodded, looking at the orphanage. She really means it, he realized. His own habit of giving anonymously felt trivial compared to the direct compassion she showed. For a few moments, they stood in companionable silence, the sky fading to indigo. John's phone buzzed, a reminder of the office and responsibilities. He exhaled. I should go, he said reluctantly. The board meeting, Maya's eyes followed him. Work can wait, she insisted. Come inside. Meet the kids. John shook his head with a soft grin. Next time. I promise I'll help more. She nodded, understanding. This is the real him. And a shock of realization hit her. If he was funding this orphanage, her orphanage, back at the Carling Industries office, news was whispering like wildfire. The mysterious ex-girlfriend, Erica Mallory, had returned to the company as a board member. Rumors spread quickly. She was controlling, mercurial, and still obsessed with John. That evening, Maya found herself alone in the office late, under the soft hum of fluorescent lights. She packed up her things, thoughts still swirling from the day. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. An unknown number flashed a text. Enjoying working for me, it read, followed by a photo. Maya's heart raced as she recognized the setting, a snapshot from the volunteer day at the orphanage. They had never given that photo to the press. Maya Parker, the message continued in a chilling tone. Careful who you trust. I know who you are. The text signed off with one name, Erica. A chill ran through Maya. She found me. She realized the threat. Erica had snapped a photo of her with John. Across town, John's day had grown tense too. In the boardroom, Erica leaned forward, icy eyes fixed on him. Working late, John. Your secretary seems to have plans, I hear. John's jaw tightened. He masked his concern. He felt a quiet rage. Erica Mallory always hated that I helped others. He knew. Her eyes bore into him from across the table. It was a warning. That night, John couldn't sleep. He went through emails, only to find a cryptic attachment, a doctored file in Maya's name, making false accusations against him. Someone had clearly set her up at work. The next morning, Maya arrived at work in a nervous hurry. An urgent memo on her desk caught her eye. An incident report. She was named in a phony complaint about misusing company funds for personal projects. She stared at the paper. Her mind flashed to Erica's text. Before Maya could react, John's voice resonated through the silence. He stood at the doorway of her cubicle, eyes blazing with both anger and protectiveness. He tore up the report without a second thought. You don't deserve this, he whispered, his tone low but fierce. Erica appeared from around the corner, smirking. Quite a team you have here, John, she drawled. I worry for our company's reputation with amateurs like her around. Maya felt sick inside, but John remained calm. I hired her for her skills and her heart, he replied evenly. Erica's smirk faltered. Before Erica could respond, a soft chime echoed through the office lobby. Behind them, a large framed photo was being unveiled, an old newspaper clipping from a charity event years ago. Eyes widened. The photo showed a young John Carling, smiling shyly, holding a teddy bear. Beside him stood a younger girl with dark hair and green eyes. Maya, a small child. The headline read, Young Helpers, Local Children Fund Orphanage with Art Sale. Maya's breath hitched. John's face went ashen. Recognition hit like a wave. The girl in the photo had been only 8, but he remembered her gentle smile and kind eyes. It was her. He stumbled forward. Maya? He whispered, voice shaking with awe and shock. Maya stared at the photo, then back at John's face, and back at the image. Tears sprung to her eyes. They had known each other as children, and in that revelation, their world trembled. The lines of fate were suddenly clear, a promise from a lifetime ago, about to be fulfilled in ways neither had ever imagined. Morning light spilled into the office. As John read the old newspaper clipping again, Maya sat beside him at a small conference table, coffee in hand. Their faces were reflected in the glossy glass, the weight of yesterday's revelation between them. John's heart still pounded from the truth they had uncovered. He reached for Maya's hand, fingers trembling with awe. I remember everything now, he whispered. You were the little girl who handed me that teddy bear so many years ago. You saved me when I felt alone. He brushed a loose strand of hair from her face. Maya's eyes shimmered with tears. This was the promise he had never forgotten. In the days that followed, Maya and John grew inseparable. Secret smiles passed in board meetings and lingering goodbyes under fluorescent lights. Their stolen moments were filled with warm laughter and gentle teasing. One night, as they walked under the city stars, Maya leaned her head on John's shoulder. Do you ever wonder why fate works in such strange ways? Maya murmured. She shivered in the cool breeze, and John slipped his jacket around her shoulders. Maybe, he replied softly. But I know I've never been this happy, Maya. She smiled, kissing his jaw. I feel safe with you, she whispered. Their happiness, however, drew dark envy. Erica Mallory watched from a distance, jealousy twisting inside her like poison. The day before, she had been humiliated in front of the board when John revealed her treachery. Now, Erica decided to be destructive. If I can't have John's love, I'll ruin whatever he cherishes. That evening, as Maya prepared dinner in her cozy kitchen, her phone buzzed. Hey, busy? Read an unknown text. Assuming it was John, she replied with a smile. But when she opened the door moments later, 2 men in black suits grabbed her from behind. A sharp cloth pressed to her face. She struggled, but darkness overcame her. Moments later, John's phone pinged. A message with a photo of Maya, bound to a chair in a dimly lit room. Stunned, John's blood froze. The message read, Your precious Maya is mine. Come alone if you ever want to see her again. No signature, but John recognized the handwriting inside the image. Erica's challenge. Rage and fear wrenched through him, but the president calmed himself. John's mind raced. He grabbed his coat and raced out of his office. Inside the abandoned warehouse, on the outskirts of the city, Maya's vision cleared. She was bruised and tied to a chair, heart hammering in terror. Through a grated window, she saw the neon city, lights flicker. Panic threatened to choke her. This can't be real. The door creaked open. Erica's icy face filled the crack. Ah, awake at last, Erica sneered, her heels clacking on the concrete floor. A single bulb cast harsh shadows. Maya Parker, Erica said, flicking her hair back. You've been playing make-believe with someone else's life. I won't stand for it. Maya spat free and defiant. What do you want from me? She demanded, Voice trembling, yet brave. Erica paced slowly. John Carling was meant to be mine. You broke us apart. Now you will beg for his love, or— She lifted a strand of Maya's dark hair. Or your secret gets out. Maya's stomach lurched. Does she know? Her secret. She was pure. Had never trusted a man with her heart or body until now. It was hers alone, a quiet treasure. If Erica even hinted at it, Maya would die of shame first. She doesn't even know who she's dealing with. Erica snarled. Isn't that right, John? The next instant, John burst through the door, fists clenched, eyes blazing. Maya's heart surged. John, she cried. You came. Of course I came, he roared, his eyes locked on Erica. Erica sneered and lunged forward, pulling a hidden knife. Sparks flew as John tackled her to the ground. Maya twisted in her ropes, desperation building inside her. Stay out of this, Erica hissed, struggling beneath him. John pinned her arms, eyes filled with betrayal. He rose, keeping Erica on the ground. The two men blocked the exit behind them. John rushed to Maya's side, his eyes softening. He had her in his arms, chest heaving. Tears of relief spattered her cheeks as she looked up at him. But the danger was not over. One of Erica's men aimed a gun. John spotted it in the Yabr periphery and jerked, pushing Maya behind him. The bullet meant for him lodged in her side. She gasped, arching her back in agony as warm blood soaked her shirt. No, John cried, cradling her in his arms. Maya clutched his collar. You promised. Never let anything happen to me, she whispered, voice weak but determined. John pressed a hand over her wound, mind roaring. I won't lose you, he gasped. Stay with me. Maya shook her head faintly. Pain illuminated her face. She patted his hand reassuringly. You have to get out, she rasped. Never, John sobbed, ignoring the chaos around them. I'm not leaving you. Erica released a strangled scream and charged again. Maya called out to stop. Her. No more, Maya gasped, summoning her last strength. Even in pain, her voice trembled like a fierce drumbeat. Erica faltered under Maya's gaze. John seized the moment. He kicked Erica in the chest, sending her sprawling. She realized defeat flashing in his eyes and finally screamed, This isn't over. Within seconds, police sirens wailed. Erica and her goons fled into the night as swiftly as shadows. John held Maya, rocking her on the cold warehouse floor. Stay awake, he pleaded softly. You have to wake up. Maya slipped in and out of consciousness. In the dull light, John shook her gently. No, no, not now. Blood stained her blouse. Despite the pain, her hand found his and squeezed. Her sacrifice hung in the air. The world grew dark to Maya. Each desperate heartbeat of John echoed in her ears as she fainted, hope flickering in the last sight of his anguished eyes. John waited by Maya's bedside, in the quiet hospital room. The walls were pale blue, morning light filtering through the curtains. Machines beeped softly. Maya's face was pale, but peaceful. He held her hand, knuckles white with fear and relief. She was alive. The truth came out quickly. Erica and her cronies were apprehended by the police after surveillance footage, triggered by Erica's final escape, led to their warehouse. Evidence of her schemes was everywhere. Blackmail notes, faked emails, and the phone that sent the kidnapping message, all traced to her. Erica Mallory was convicted of attempted kidnapping and corruption. She would rot behind bars, powerless to hurt them any longer. News of the ordeal spread through the city. John's heart swelled whenever he thought of how Maya's life had become intertwined with his. He realized now, more than ever, that trust and love were worth any risk. Slowly, as Maya began to awaken, John kept vigil by her side. The smell of antiseptic and flower petals filled the air. Finally, Maya's eyes fluttered open. The first thing she saw was John's anxious, hopeful face bent above her. Tears of relief welled in her eyes. Maya managed a weak smile. "John," she whispered, her voice raspy. He squeezed her hand. "I'm here," he said. "I won't leave you again. You're safe now." She remembered the chaos, the pain, but those memories blazed and then dimmed. She clung to John's hand. Later, John explained what had happened. The police, the arrest, everything. Maya listened, feeling as if she were waking from a nightmare. When he mentioned that Erica was behind bars, a fierce calm came over her. Justice had been served. John brushed a strand of hair from her forehead. "I've learned something," he said softly. "I trust you completely, Maya. You saved my life tonight, literally. I could never repay that, but I promise to spend the rest of my life making you happy." His dark eyes shone with emotion. Maya squeezed his hand. "This is the man I've been waiting for." "You already have," she whispered. That afternoon, John carried Maya out of the hospital in his arms. The sky was clear. Birds were singing. Outside, a crowd of children from the orphanage gathered with balloons and flowers. They had been waiting for her. The roses and daisies smelled sweet as Maya's eyes filled with tears again. Tears of joy this time. One by one, the children hugged her. Little Emma, the girl Maya once bandaged, pressed a handmade card into her hand that read, "Thank you, Maya, our hero." Maya felt warmth spread through her chest. John took Maya's hand and led her to a small stage where the orphanage director stood with a golden key on a ribbon. "This is for you, Maya Parker," she announced, smiling. "You're the new honorary director of Rosewood Orphanage for all you've done for these children." Maya was overwhelmed. She took the key as the audience cheered softly. John realized then it was time for his grand, romantic gesture. He knelt beside her on one knee. Surprised gasps rippled through the crowd. "Maya," he began, voice trembling, "you came into my life like a lighthouse in the storm. You showed me what it means to give and to trust. You sacrificed so much, even your own safety, for me and others." He took a small velvet box from his coat. Maya's heart flew to her throat. His eyes were fixed on her with such intensity, it made her world pause. "As long as I live, I want to be the one who honors your kindness and protects you. Maya Parker, will you marry me?" Maya's breath caught. The sun shone down on them. The cheers of children echoed. Her eyes glistened. He waited, the moment suspended in gentle expectation. Maya placed a trembling hand on her heart. "Yes," she cried, a laugh and tears mingling. She threw her arms around him. The crowd erupted in joyful applause as John slipped a ring onto her finger. Tears ran down John's cheeks. He lifted her into a tender embrace. In that moment, all their pain felt worth the precious reward. Erica Mallory's downfall was complete. As the months passed, John's company thrived under his renewed faith in honesty. Maya spent every day at the orphanage, helping children to heal and smile. Together, they built a life on the foundation of truth and devotion, and above all, their love was now unbreakable. Maya's secret, her purity of heart, was celebrated, not tarnished. They had learned that real love grows from trust and sacrifice. Moral: through storms and secrets, love and trust endured. Maya and John's journey taught them, and us, that true love is worth fighting for, and honesty will always light the way, even in the darkest nights. Thank you for listening. Did this story touch your heart? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more heartfelt tales.